broken water mains. I could go through the list. Health department, affordable housing, the things that I deal with on a daily basis. But it starts with public safety, recruitment, retention. I've already gotten a text this morning from a veteran officer that says, no retirement for me now. I'm here for 3 more years. Our best recruiters are the active officers. We're already hearing they're reaching out to their nephews, their family members. We're reaching out to our diverse community since this became available to the members yesterday. I'm excited. I'm excited for the rank and file, and I'm excited for Houstonians because it starts with taking care and appreciate your officers. I get angry when I see everyone get behind our rank and file when there's a tragedy, a loss of life among our ranks. We need to thank them while they're active officers and thank their families. I want to thank Doug Griffith, president of HPOU, had his union members as his highest priority, and public safety. The department, Chief Diaz, Chief Harden. I could go through the list of officers in their respective jobs and how we reach this. Deetra Norris, assistant city attorney, was at the table. Melissa in finance, my chief of staff, I rank and file in the mayor's office. So it's an exciting day to become the best paid first-year officers in the state of Texas. And we're not through. We have a 5-year contract, 10% across the board in the first year. I asked them to hand this out before we came in so you'll witness why I'm so excited and pleased for Houstonians and officers. 8% in 26, 6% in 27, 6% in 28, 6.5 in the 5th year for a total of 36.5% over 5 years. This is going to improve public safety. In any job, particularly when you are putting your life on the line, morale matters. And morale is good in HPD. But this is reaching all-time highs. They want to work for Mayor Whitmire. And make sure you say John Whitmire. Because we really have a partnership with our first responders. I appreciate public employees, having been one before I entered the legislature. They do not get the recognition and appreciation. Whether it's our municipal employees, our housekeepers that keep this place going, our firefighters, our first responders, certainly HPD that we're recognizing today. That's my commitment to making this city work better, and it starts with your employees. So, best package in anyone's memory. Doug laid it out to his members yesterday. They're excited. The command staff is excited. And best to speak to the benefits and what it means to this great city and this department, I'm going to ask Chief Diaz to come speak. And let me just also say, it starts with leadership. I think I have the best police chief in America. You know, there's not going to be any suspended cases under this chief. He holds people accountable. But the officers, when he and I patrol this city late at night, and we'll be out there tonight, officers want to work for this chief. And they thank me on a regular basis for his common sense, crime-fighting approach and backing his officers up when they're doing the right thing and holding them accountable when they're not. Chief Diaz.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the kind words. It's always hard to speak after the mayor because he says everything, right? So, but I'll be brief. I want to thank our partners in labor. They've been phenomenal. I want to thank the remarkable executive team, our fantastic council, Ursula Williams. It has truly been a Herculean effort, but we have been very professional with one another. This is generational for this police department. We have 2 young cadets who are in the academy now to my right, and this will be generational. This will be life-changing for these police officers that are about to come to work for us. if you're watching me and you're at other police departments or you're considering being a police officer now, consider HPD. Be the blue, be HPD. That's my message to you today. Nothing is going to give you more aliveness, more depth, or inspirational energy than coming to do this job. Amen. For the guys and girls that got off on night shift last night, and day shift that came on, we're here for them. We are service driven. This office is expected to be service driven in every aspect of the police business. So Mayor, thank you for the hard work, right? It's a 60, 70-hour work week for both of us, and we're here to serve, we're here to lead, and I can't thank the community enough. We go to every community across town, and we're met with high fives, some hugs, a lot of love, a lot of smiles, but mostly we're met with a lot of prayer, right? So this office is here to make this community better, to make this community safer, so that the future of the community is on solid ground and is poised into the next decade professionally and in a well-staffed police department. Thank you very much. I'm going to yield to
Let me say something before
Yes,
I
sir.
bring up, Doug. From a personal standpoint, we wouldn't be here without HPOU. And let me just tell you the background. I've been the voice of the rank and file in HPOU for years in Austin. In 1998, I was on their negotiating team. Sat, and we disagreed often with the city attorney. You know, if you're not careful, egos get involved. But in this instance, Doug and HPOU knew we had the same goal. What is the very best benefit package we could get for officers, our recruiting, our retention, and we could not have done enough without Doug, his team, the rank and file. And he also knew I had another responsibility, to be fair to the taxpayers of Houston. I've listened to them. They are applauding today because we're putting their tax dollars where they would place them as well. Doug, thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And as I get started today, I just want to first thank the rank and file of the Houston Police Department. Those guys have been working far too long, short-staffed, underpaid. You know, some of our equipment isn't the greatest, but they go out there every single day and they still do the job. They don't want to leave this profession. It is truly a calling for most of us. And I want to applaud them first of all, because without them and their hard work, we wouldn't be here today doing this contract. And then the mayor has stepped up and stopped kicking the can down the road. Started putting his feet first in front of him and working hard to get us where we need to be as an organization. The chief has been outstanding since he's got here. The rank and file love him. They love the changes that have come within our department. Thanks to him and his command staff have done a phenomenal job. The negotiating team, Deidre Norris was amazing. Ursula Williams, everybody across the board. I can't thank everybody enough for the support. The citizens of Houston have truly stepped up and supported this organization better than any city in this state and in this country, and we are blessed to be here. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Chief, you want to speak to our, you can call Harden,
Yeah, Thomas Harden.
and then you can move into our Spanish-speaking residents.
Like I said earlier, I had the negotiating team for us just did remarkable. So I want to bring up Thomas Harden, my executive chief, who is instrumental, who's been here 23, 24 years of his life and is focused on the next 15 years for this office to be remarkable. So, Thomas.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Mayor. You know, my message today, my distinct honor and privilege to be part of the team that helped negotiate this contract for our officers with labor and the city. It is a group of people on both sides that are fully committed to what is best for the citizens of Houston and our officers. Director Williams, Director Rhonda Smith, who's here somewhere, Chief Cephas, Chief Colley, Chief Anderson, and a whole host of people behind the scenes that do all the math and help us understand what's possible and what's not. This is a monumental, generational contract for our police department that will carry on for a very long time. Our compensation package for our younger officers has been choking our ability to recruit and retain. We have people that leave routinely to go to other departments when they have 5 years or less. This contract, and thanks to the mayor and his team and our support from City Council and the support of the citizens of Houston, will change that. We deserve to be paid like the 4th largest city in the country and the 5th largest police department, and this contract does that, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it. For the officers that show up every day and work currently, not just the ones coming or in the academy, it's a calling, like Doug said. Okay, they don't show up for the money. They show up because they want to serve the citizens of Houston every single day and make this community safer. For that, Chief and I and our entire staff are proud of them. We show up every day to do what we can to serve them, and they deserve to be paid commensurate with what they're doing right now. Okay, we are extremely proud of all the men and women that have signed up and do this job every single day before this contract, and we're happy for them now after this contract. So, if you're not an officer and you have a heart for service, or you're working somewhere else and you have a heart for service, and you want to be a part of a purpose-driven department that shows up every day to be the best guardians of this city that we can be, hbdcareer.com. Come join us.
Thank you. Chief Diaz, you want to speak to our Spanish-speaking residents?
Daisy? I'm ready for you. She's hiding back there, but I see you back there.
Grizzy, get in front of those cameras.
Grizzly's up here. Daisy, can you move up? You good? How can we help you?
Oh, wait, help that leg.
That's all right. She's good. I can hear her. I don't want. Yes, ma'am.
Go for it.
¿Cuál es el mensaje que tienen ahora que han llegado a este acuerdo tan importante? ¿Qué significa?
El mensaje es que este departamento hoy podemos movernos para adelante, para nosotros retener los policías que tenemos ahorita y en el futuro, para la década que viene. Les agradecemos al alcalde John Whitmire que está aquí a mi lado y a nuestros socios en la unión de HPOU. Estamos trabajando juntos. Las diferencias en los sueldos van a ser algo diferente, algo que va a cambiar nuestro futuro. Ojalá si nos están escuchando y quieren ser policías con el departamento de Houston, por favor, hbdcareer.com. Les agradezco que tengan el tiempo, si nos están escuchando, que nos den una oportunidad de nosotros entrevistarlos, a ver si tienen lo que es para servir la comunidad, para nosotros crecer el departamento rápido y también para que sea un ejemplo de policías de todo el país.
¿Cuánto era el dinero que está, de diferencia en este momento? A partir de ese contrato, ¿cuánto era antes para un policía que empezara?
Antes era como $60,000. Hoy, después del contrato, van a empezar a $81,600 cuando cumples el año de trabajar con el departamento. Eso es algo grande, es algo que les agradecemos a la comunidad que nos haya dado la oportunidad de servirles. Eso es algo que va a cambiar nuestra trayectoria de departamentos. Le agradezco al alcalde. Anything else? Go for me.
Before I open it to questions, let me recognize Vice Mayor Pro Tem Peck, who has been a partner in improving public safety. Thank you for being here. And the reason I want to thank her for being here, this contract will be in the budget that we roll out next week, a balanced budget that includes this contract. We won't have a shortfall when we lay out the budget, and some of you are going to have to change your script. We don't have a $300 million. We're not going to have a $200 million. We're going to have a balanced budget next week, and we have addressed the shortfall. Now, we have a lot of work to do going forward. We still have to eliminate waste and duplication, corruption, conflicts of interest. And at some point in the future, I'm going to tell the citizens I've done everything I can to cut waste and duplication. And then we'll have to decide what type of city we want to live in going forward. But this is a huge step in addressing public safety. The morale improvement alone is going to improve response time. It's going to help recruiting. It's going to change their lives. The cadets are excited. And it's just a great day to be the mayor of Houston and a great day to be a resident of Houston. Let me open it to any questions or any of the...
Mayor, let me say this. I've been getting text messages all day long saying, hey, thank you for what you're doing for our family. Thank you for what the mayor did for this city. I mean, just over and over. I've got text messages for since 5 o'clock this morning, thanking the HPU and the mayor and the city for taking care of their families. So again, thank you for what you're doing. I also want to thank my bargaining team, Ray Hunt. I see a couple others tonight, Terry Siegler, Andrew Wright, Jessica Lamb, and others that they just did a phenomenal job every day. Long days and long hours, but it worked out great. Thank you.
It's exciting. Yes, sir.
How much is this contract going to cost the city in total? And I mean, you sort of started to speak to it, but how are you?
With 67 million this year, I think the total after 5 years will be 832 million, which places us at the top of departments in the state of Texas. Austin recently went to the top. Thus far, it has not really improved their recruitment. A lot goes into recruitment beyond just benefits. The working environment. You know, during the storm, Beryl, we had 100 officers from around the state came and worked with us for 3 days. Corpus, Arlington. You'd be surprised what some of the department officers see in the opportunity in Houston, Texas. It's a great city. It's a diverse city. We have challenges like all major cities do, but we're meeting those challenges. So when we would break bread or feed them over at HPOU office, 100 from around the state, they were interested in staying because it's good police work. You get to use your talent and the collaboration. You know, we've been having like 75 DPS officers work with us on the weekend on traffic enforcement, the noise ordinance. We'll have a surge tonight across this city of other departments in DPS. But back to that group that came in to assist us, when the electricity was out, we needed some additional officers, and we received it statewide. The real vision that I have is someday that size force will be the norm. But we've got a lot of work to do. This is a huge step. We got to recruit. And don't underestimate retention, because other departments are trying to recruit our fine officers. And we're just not going to let it happen. And I'm representing 2.3 million Houstonians. And let me add another group that we're providing safety for. 700,000 people come to work in Houston each and every day. That's the size of Atlanta. So we woke up this morning with 2.3 Houstonians we're responsible for, but we took on Atlanta today on the streets and roads of Houston. So we have we've been discovered. We've been discovered by the world, and we've got to get ready. We've got the World Cup coming. We've got the Republican National Convention. You know, let me just give a shout out to Metro. They're at full force as of this week. I went over to the last 11 officers that made their staffing 100%. People are excited right now about the direction of the city. We have challenges, though.
Mayor, could you talk about how many police officers the department currently has and how many do you hope to recruit?
You know, I'm glad you asked. I believe it's 5,200 this morning.
A little higher than 50.
Little over 5,200. We're about 1,200 short.
174.
But let me just tell you how you measure that as well. Certainly, a numerical number is a good measurement. But it's really what you do with those officers. I've seen it while I've been mayor. It's the technology you use. It's the collaboration with other departments. But this chief is so innovative and part of our efficiency and improved city government that we're merging his IT department and human resources department with the city of Houston's. We're talking about that duplication that I mentioned so often. That didn't take any officers off the street. In fact, if you go over to Travis, he's got officers that were working behind desks now on foot patrol downtown Houston. I like to say wherever Chief Diaz is, he's fighting crime.
You talked about retention. Do we know how long officers tend to stay with HPD?
I can tell you this much. Most officers consider it a career. They're here for 20 plus years. As of the last couple of years, probably the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen a trend where younger officers coming on, they get trained here, they have a couple of years under their belt, then they go somewhere that pays more. In the last academy class, we saw 4 leave as soon as they graduated. The following week, they left and went to Forsher and Rosenberg because they pay more. So now this will prevent some of that from going on. We don't need to be the training ground for other agencies.
And I just stand here, y'all ought to be excited. You're Houstonians, you have families. So, we need to do better traffic enforcement, and that's a priority. And then we also need to tell people, quit pulling a gun on each other. When I was in high school, folks were getting in a fight. Now our young people have shootouts. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of education to do, but we've got to ask citizens to join us in this effort.
Mayor, when you talk about filling all of those vacancies, are there specific areas that you feel like we're lacking in right now? Like, is it traffic enforcement? Is it different types of violent crimes? Like, what are the areas that y'all are hoping to really be able to expand and ramp
I'm going to let
up?
the chief, he runs the department.
Thank you for the question. No, we have a lot of needs. It's been reported in the past, but we have to stay focused on the traffic enforcement. The mayor said we have 700,000 guests, I call them, that come every day. So that adds a lot of congestion. You can't leave downtown for 25, 30 minutes sometimes. So we're focused on adding staff there. We're in the throes of creating a new club squad that'll tackle the after-hour stuff, that'll tackle all the noise ordinances, the quality of life issues. We actually have another team, I call them Whitmire's Wranglers. It's a DRT team that's out of Travis. And we want to have people report graffiti, trash, those kinds of things. And we want to have a really quick response because it's important to the community. And I'll give you one example. During the storm, the mayor and I were out late. We drove down Cook, I guess it was off of Lockwood. And we drove down Lockwood, and there is couches, trash, garbage in the median, right? That really affected me because if I'm an 8-year-old boy walking to school that day, the next day, I can't do anything about it. So if the adults aren't taking care of business, then who is? So for us, we went over there quickly with our partners at the other departments and got it fixed quickly. So we're trying everything to make this city livable, to make this city better for everyone, so they can grow together. Because as the police go, the city grows, right? And this is so important today because of that. So I'm super excited for the contract. Super excited for these kids wearing these white shirts today because it's generational for them. Right, it is something so huge that they didn't. Since we've been on, the mayor's added $10,000 to the recruiting for the cadets. They actually get a gun purchase. So again, walking the talk, right? You talk it, you walk it. The mayor owns it. So we're very excited to be working in tandem with him. So that's a great question.
Before I got here, when I got here, I learned from talking to cadets that they didn't have $1,000 for their firearm, and they were financing it at the police credit union. And I said, ain't that a heck of a note? So we got busy, got donations from the police foundation and other sources, and now we purchase their firearm. You have to let your employees know you appreciate them, particularly the dangers of first responders.
Mayor, you've repeatedly said that the city was, quote, broke. What is the plan to pay for this?
We're going to pay for it through efficiencies, reorganization. We had 1,057 retirees yesterday. We're going to save millions of dollars by being more efficient, cutting out waste and duplication. We're collaborating with other levels of government, and I'll be glad to call Melissa to speak to that, but it's really part of making, you know, it's so interesting. So many of you continue to write about our shortfall. First of all, we settled the Jones-Watson, the future years. They were very cooperative. The retirement system, the other efficiencies, reorganization of city government. So we have the funds, and it was always frustrating to me to sit there and listen to other elected officials and maybe even outside critics. They would say, how are you going to fund this? Fund what? The old model that we knew was broken, or the new model, which you're seeing going in operation now? The incentive pay for these 1,000+ retirees yesterday, I didn't really know what to expect. They were high-fiving, wanting pictures, hugging. They appreciated the methodical, compassionate plan that we presented to them. And we're not through. But our department heads, I've got a great team. They're motivated. We've got serious issues outside of public safety. Solid waste. We want more parks in our community. So I could go and give a state of the city, but I'm excited about this today, addressing public safety, which is my highest priority, and one of the main reasons I left the legislature to fix and address public safety. Melissa, you want to speak to the financial considerations?
Sure. I just wanted to remind everyone that the FY26 proposed budget is going to be released next Tuesday of next week. And so when we lay it out Tuesday morning, the cost of this proposed contract is in the budget. Reiterating what the mayor said, the proposed budget is we'll lay it all out in detail there and in a council committee meeting on Wednesday afternoon next week. And you'll see all the details at that time, quantifying the efficiencies, looking at the efficiency study that we performed last year, and it'll all be laid out in the budget next week.
And I'm just sitting here thinking about recruitment. It's a national phenomenon. Across our country, departments are understaffed and having a hard time recruiting. And that's what's going to set us apart. And it's not going to be just sheer numbers, but how you use those officers that you have, particularly when it comes to their morale and also using technology and working with other departments. It already is making a huge difference. Any other questions?
What changes, if any, were made to disciplinary procedures, for example, the 180-day rule that I know?
Doug, you want to speak to that?
There's no change in this one. We changed it in the last contract to mirror 143 and what other agencies are doing around the state.
So none?
No changes. No changes.
Thank you.
Are there changes to, I mean, you've talked about kind of the salary increases, that's obviously the biggest thing, but are there changes to, maybe there's more overtime allotted for officers who come to court? I hear there might be some changes in terms of like disciplinary procedure.
The things that were changed as far as disciplinary procedure were very minimal. We have a program in place that allows officers to, if they were to get suspended, they would be able to use their vacation time in lieu of missing a paycheck. And it keeps them on the streets versus sit at home. So that has been in place, but we now made it where it's easier for the chief to sign off on it. There were some things that in which if you're terminated, you can get your drag up pay at that point, where if you arbitrated before, you had to wait. They held your money, which is technically illegal to do by federal standard, but we put it in the contract so they get a portion of it. Outside of that, there were a bunch of little nitpick things that cleanup language, I guess you would call it, that we had to do with regard to the way arbitrators are picked, the way our promotional system works, and so forth, but no substantial changes that are going to affect anything.
I got a text this morning from a veteran officer, said somebody needs to tell the courts to get ready. You know, that's the sentiment of the rank and file, because we're fixing to double down, certainly citations. You know, let me tell you what, this is a great city, great people, but we have challenges. We still have 4 boarded up courtrooms from Harvey. That was the circumstances when I got here. It's unbelievable when ticket revenue, traffic enforcement, many years was the second largest revenue stream. And you can go look at the data and it's just steadily gone down. One, because the courts were so dysfunctional, but we have a great new chief and administrator at the courts, Ms. Santos. We've added some additional judges, and now we're fixing to see an increase in the volume of their work because of the morale and the hard-working rank and file of HPD. Anything else? If not, we have a lot of work to do. We're not through, so let's all enjoy this accomplishment and go back to work. Thank you.
I just have one more quick question. I know you were talking about combining a lot of the civilian positions at HPD. Is there any chance that any of the officers within HPD would then receive any of that work? You know, when you lay off or offer buyouts to the civilian employees at HPD, is all of that work being taken?
It's being shifted over to city departments that do exactly the same thing. So allowing efficiencies and cost-effective measures, but it's not going to affect officers on the street at all. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you all very much.